Hey everybody, I am here on today's spotlight with Casey Ainsworth, and Casey is going to talk about multiple businesses that he runs, starting with Casey, your logistics company, correct?
Yeah, large scale logistics.
Large scale logistics.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Perfect. So tell us a little bit about how you got in and started being an entrepreneur.
It was actually random. It was through a friend. So I was considering a career change. She was currently in the logistics space, and then we had some discussions about it, and then I just made the leap, man. I ended up getting into logistics, working for a large corporate company,
Mm-hmm.
and then after kind of learning how everything works, then I ended up deciding to go on my own. So that's where I took the big leap. That's where I was like, you know what, let's do it.
Nice. How old were you when that happened? If you don't mind me asking.
I wasn't ready for that question. I was probably, I want to say 30,
Okay.
maybe 29. Yeah.
And what was the reason behind that?
I mean, my dad had started a few companies when I was younger, and I just always liked the idea of running on my own time, just being responsible for my own, my own success, my own well-being. My, I like to be in charge, I guess. Natural leader.
Okay. Nice. Nice. And so starting large scale logistics, um, how take us through that process?
So I actually, I mean, when I started, I had already knew exactly what I was doing. So being in logistics, a lot of it has to do with building relationships or the ability to build new relationships. And so I had just learned how to build those relationships. So for me, it was just a matter of setting up the legal process to where I was managing those relationships and then the freight for those customers legally. So
Okay.
yeah, so it was just getting everything in place to make sure that I covered the liability aspect and then the legal aspect with the FMCSA, stuff like that. Make sure I have the capital in place to have the business flow.
Very cool. Very cool. And when you were doing this, what were some of the mistakes you made starting up? If you can remember back.
Some of the mistakes. Underestimating things, obviously underestimating capital a little bit, underestimating capital. Not putting enough effort and energy into tax management and
Hmm.
just some of the money flow. Like the way that my money flows through my businesses now is so much cleaner than it was at the beginning. Like, separating accounts for different things and then having an actual like tax professional consult you, things like that. That's been massive for me in not only tax savings but just time savings. Like it was going back through and editing everything and trying to get that all figured out. I mean, that's a huge challenge,
Yep.
and especially for someone like me because my specialty is not like detailed, like detailed data driven work. Like I succeed more on the side of building relationships and motivating people, staying motivated. So yeah, those grueling tasks, they ground me down really bad. So yeah, having the people that specialize in that has
Hmm.
helped me tremendously.
So always hire your weaknesses,
Yeah, that's a good way to put it for sure.
right?
You don't want to waste 50% of your time doing things that you're not good at or that you don't enjoy. So yeah, I definitely try to task that stuff out and then focus on the things that drive more revenue and the things that help to actually grow my business.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, most of us do not like those things, right?
Yeah.
I mean, those are just facts. No one
Right.
likes paying taxes. No one likes keeping your books straight, but it's super critical for you staying in business and growing.
Yeah, no doubt. And it definitely, yeah, the people that do like to do that, they're special and keep them close because
Yep.
there's not very many of them. And if you find someone that's good at it or that wants to do it, then that's your new best friend.
Yeah. So tell us, like today, where is the company today, and what are the goals, and how are you working to achieve those goals for
Um,
large
so
scale?
today, so today specifically, logistics has been kind of a roller coaster. COVID that had a direct effect on logistics. So there
Mhm.
was there was a weird period of time where logistics completely crashed when they shut everything down. There was almost nothing moving. And then everybody else really experienced the opposite, the backlash of that once everything rebounded. Logistics and the supply chain was absolutely crazy. Like the cost was crazy. I mean, globally, it was kind of a nightmare. And then, but also that sent prices soaring. So if you were positioned correctly, there was a lot of money to be made. If you were able to provide solutions, which we were, being a 3PL and a brokerage, we're asset light, so we were able to pivot and help companies that were having failures on the asset side that they worked with. So we were able to do pretty well. But now it's kind of like a rubber band effect. So it stretches one way, then flings the other way. Now it's coming back the other way. So right now we have the amount of truckloads are lower than normal for this time of year. Everyone's expecting things to get back to normal around Q3. So we're kind of in a slower period of time than we normally are. Usually summers we're going absolutely crazy, but overall though it was kind of to be expected. So we prepared for it, made sure that we were ready, and yeah. So right now I have a handful of guys that work for me. Our years fluctuate. We're doing about 5 million a year in revenue, which is, I mean, that's pretty small on the grand scheme for brokerage. I mean, there's brokerages out there that are doing billions, but for like a small family startup with no, it's we're definitely doing a lot. And I think that there's, when you work with a big box brokerage, you are getting a big box experience. So you're just like another number. They're cheap. They're good. Like they're cheap. They're good at what they do. But if you want someone to actually package the product for you, put a bow on it, personalize it, answer your phone calls 24/7, that kind of stuff. Like, I think that we're positioned really well to provide that level of service. So a lot of the guys under my umbrella have some specialty knowledge. A lot of us worked in the oil industry before. We've loaded heavy equipment. We've done, we've been boots on the ground. A lot of my guys have actually driven the semis before, professionally. So we really understand what it means to actually be out there doing the work, not, not just like the corporate package stuff. So we provide a personal experience for sure.
So you're competing on service and quality, not so much price.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. That's definitely how we like to package ourselves. We don't like to boast that we're the cheapest, but we'll be the guy that will answer if you have an issue at 1 a.m. for sure.
I love it. I think that's the right way to go about it. Offer premium service or product and get paid what you're worth.
Yeah, definitely. Yep. I think that works a lot better in our space.
Yeah. So what are the goals moving forward? Like where do you see everything in the next, let's say 1 to 5 years, and how do you get there?
So we transitioned. Initially, we were a freight agency, so we were operating as an agent under another brokerage. And then it's been about 1.5 years now where we have become our own brokerage. So we're operating under our own authority, operating under our own insurance, everything like that. So at this point, until all of your MC and everything's 1 year old, you're kind of no one likes to work with the new guy, like it's from a legal perspective. And so now that we've established that, we have literally a perfect credit score in the trucking world through Ansonia. And then we're approved with every major factoring company. So that makes it easy to work with all the carriers and their different factoring companies. So nice. At this point, we're positioned in a really good place to start scaling. So we just went to the annual TIA conference in Orlando. We met some really awesome recruiters. So at this point, we are getting people in front of us that could possibly add to our business. Brokers with experience, anyone that wants to bring a book of business over, anybody that's tired of working for a big box brokerage, and even your employees sometimes want that personal touch. They don't want to be a number or a drop in the bucket of employees. So we're looking for those people. With the slowdown right now, there's a lot of large companies that are doing layoffs. So we're here to catch those people. That's people that are talented that are being overlooked at a bigger brokerage. They'd probably be a really good fit for us, actually.
Nice. So you're focusing on people, and people drive the business.
Exactly. Yeah, that's well put for sure. Yeah, we're looking for those people that weren't appreciated where they were at.
I love it. Check out Wise Hire when you get a chance.
Wise Hire?
Wise Hire, yes.
Okay, awesome. We will, and that's perfect too, because we're just in the beginning stages of putting together the packages where we're going to be looking for potential people to come on board. So that's fantastic.
Wise Hire, it will give you posts in your local market across all job boards. It's like $200 a month. It's crazy cheap, and it will do all the personality assessments and background checks. And if you really go in there and mess with it, you can tweak it and optimize it so they have to jump through a series of little tests and they weed themselves out.
Gotcha.
So you only speak with qualified people that can follow instructions. It's incredible.
Yeah, that's definitely good to hear. I was a little worried about that, like being kind of a time suck, trying to like sift through, trying to do that qualification yourself can definitely be draining, I'm sure.
Yeah, it definitely is. And that's why we converted over to it. And we've been using it for probably about 8-9 months now.
Nice. That's good to hear, for sure.
Yep. So what are some of the other businesses? Well, actually, let's stick with what you faced with your logistics company.
Say that one more time. For some reason, you cut out for just a second.
What were some of the biggest challenges that you faced, like top 3 challenges over the last couple of years, and how did you get over them?
So one of the major challenges, like I was talking about, no one wants to work with the little guy when they're new. So when you open a new brokerage and you're trying to establish an MC, basically you have to, it's like building credit from zero. Mm-hmm. So like, imagine you were 18 again, but you're trying to get credit to buy a car, to buy a house, to do all this stuff, except for since we were an agency, we already had all this business going. And so we were trying to fulfill that business while being the new guy simultaneously. So normally you would start a brokerage and you would start from zero on both ends, zero business, zero credit, and you build it up together. But we migrated a multi-million-dollar business, mm-hmm. and then we were trying to operate with like zero credit. So we had to pay some people up front and hope they didn't rip us off. We had to do, we had to let people hold deposits. There was definitely some huge challenges there. And anyone in the industry that we tell that we started an MC from zero, they're like blown away. Because like a lot of people will buy an older MC and you can, so there's different ways to go about it, but we chose to go the route where we build our own. So if you were to sell it while it was an operatable MC, where it still had good credit, everything like that, it's actually really valuable. So we actually created value there by building an MC from zero.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. That was definitely a massive challenge. And then one thing that we're trying to stay on top of, like some of the big money brokerages, the big box ones that I was talking about, they're trucking and logistics is kind of archaic. They kind of got left behind with technology. And right now it's like rampantly speeding up. So the guys that have a ton of money, they're investing in AI. They're doing a lot of technological advancement with a lot of their products. And so that's one of the things that we just went to Orlando. We're trying to use third-party software to keep up with that. So we're trying to make sure that we're keeping AI and we're keeping all the new technological tools in, under our belts as well. So that way, we can compete on the same service level and offer our customers the same things, but with the added bonus of, actually dealing with one representative or having us available 24 hours, like the personal touch, like I was talking about.
Got it.
So offering the same tools, but,
So what were some of the keys? I got 2 questions here. We're going to go back to the first thing. What were some of the keys to you building a successful MC so quickly?
One of the main things is building credit. So we did partner up with an awesome company called Denim. They are a factoring company. They didn't actually factor our invoices. We did that ourselves with our own capital, mm-hmm. but they did build a payment wallet, which automatically connects to carriers' bank accounts using Plaid. And so we were able to, it would blow your mind how many trucking companies and logistics companies and customers are still sending paper checks in the mail. It's absolutely insane. So by setting up this wallet service, we were able to connect all of our carriers via ACH, and we were able to pay them with quick pay. We were able to pay them, usually within a few days.
Nice.
and then electronically. So that was a big thing. Also, some of the software that we were familiar with, a lot of smaller brokerages don't jump right into software relationships, and they run off spreadsheets and stuff like that. So, with us using some of the software, we use software tools that eliminate fraud. It eliminates just different issues you can have. So, you have more expense up front with your software, but then you have less issues in the back end. So, that contributed to our success a lot. So it's almost kind of the same thing, using those tools to keep up with the big box brokerages, like I was talking about. Those
Mm-hmm.
are actually some of the things that I think have led to our success versus other.
Nice. And then I guess my next question: how or what roles does AI play in your industry?
So there is different software that we have, like the AI will actually track real time shipping rates. So, basically daily, based on supply and demand, fuel prices, there is the prices for shipping in different parts of the country change daily, weekly, monthly. Sometimes, if someone launches a large enough project, it could be within a few hours. Someone can pull enough capacity to disrupt a certain area.
Okay.
So having tools that are kind of monitoring all that stuff real time, that's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Also having tools that help with email, like if you have a good like a substantial size book of business, sometimes, I mean, we can get hundreds and hundreds of emails a day. So, having different email tools, different AI tools that are scanning your email, sorting it for you. Um, I mean, just managing the flow of data coming and going is huge. So we're trying to doing our best. AI is still pretty new, but we're trying to integrate as much stuff as possible. A lot of the AI stuff also is not stuff that we're implementing, but it's stuff that our software providers are implementing on their software. So it's not necessarily like, yeah, I'm definitely not like an AI wizard by any means, but like yeah, like a lot of the stuff is actually part of what they offer.
Got
And
it.
so we're just trying to communicate with companies that are kind of forefronting that space.
That makes sense.
Yeah, for
All
sure.
right. And tell us a little bit about some of the other businesses that you own and operate.
So one thing that actually happened is we had some of our customers that started asking us for shipping containers, or if we could find them, if we could provide them. And due to our oil field experience, we were pretty familiar with the type of trucks that could pick up and deliver shipping containers, pick them up off the ground, deliver them to the ground. It's not rocket science, but it is a little complicated if you don't understand it. And so um, once we had enough of requests from our customers, so we started putting the pieces together for that. And then within a year we were doing a couple million in revenue selling shipping containers as well.
Nice.
So yeah, that was something. COVID affected that a lot as well. So the availability to purchase shipping containers from the steamship lines literally crashed to almost zero for like 6 months. It drove the prices insane. They were really hard to get a hold of. So luckily, we were running like a dual model where we were doing logistics and selling shipping containers. And so we pivoted back to logistics because logistics was going crazy while containers weren't even available.
Yep.
And so, yeah, luckily we had both. We were able to pivot, focus on logistics, and then shipping container prices are getting back to normal. So we've started ramping up our advertising again, started getting back into building those relationships, and we're going to be making a big push here this year to get ourselves back up on the shipping container side. When COVID happened on the shipping container side, we had like 8 employees, and then I think we had 10 contracted salespeople. And
Wow.
so that's clear down to one person left from that entire team. And so like the industry was hit that hard. It just collapsed. There was nothing. We actually went like $100,000 in debt trying to keep people employed and trying to see what was going to happen with PPP and, like whatever the government was offering. But it was a pretty rough time. We're still in touch with most of those people. They're successful and happy, which is awesome. But now that things are globally, back to, I guess, normal, whatever you want to call that, we should be getting back up there again. So yeah, we're in the
Nice.
process of doing that right now.
That's awesome. Any other companies?
So just me personally, I mean, that's like my, companies, but I also personally, I love real estate. So like my wife and I bought a barn property that's on 7 acres in central Utah. We
Okay.
actually got the certificate of occupancy last week, and then we hosted our first wedding there. So we're running it as an Airbnb, but it's an awesome property. It has a creek running through it. We converted the barn into a house,
Oh,
and
nice.
so the 2,400 square foot house, we did it like pretty high end. So we're just getting ready to list that as a short term rental, and then hopefully we're working with the city right now to make it an actual wedding venue. But yeah, we're hoping that that works out. We've already had tons of requests for weddings. We actually got married there last September.
Oh, there you
So
go.
yeah, so on that property I proposed, and then on the property, then we got married on the property, and then we converted it to a venue. So
Oh, that's an awesome story, man. That's
yeah,
cool.
for sure. That's something that's new for us. We're super excited about it. Anybody that follows us on social like that, they've seen us. We've been posting about it a ton because it turned out really amazing. The contractor, his name is Levi from Ready. It's called Ready Homes. We've known each other for a long time. He's helped me flip another house before, done some other projects, but he did a really amazing job. Everything was custom, from like the building the floor plan, every surface. We did like a custom stairway, a custom fireplace. Like it was a huge project, and he knocked it out of the park. It was pretty awesome.
That's awesome.
But
How do you? I mean, the two businesses are related, so I get that, and that's good. That's a big lesson. There is they vertically integrate where everybody else wants to buy some random business that has nothing to do with their main business.
yeah, for sure.
Uh, I made that mistake personally. Cost me a lot of money, by the way.
Yeah.
So, how do you operate the two businesses at once? Like, what are some of the things that you do that keep you on track, owning and operating two different businesses?
Just having the right people, and then trying to assign roles correctly. As long trying to distinguish whose responsibility is what with different employees, or different people that work for you or with you. That definitely helps. One thing that I called, obviously my one business is large scale logistics, and I named my other business large scale containers, and I thought that I was going to be making this like package, like recognizable brand. It's turned out to be a complete nightmare because people have gotten the two companies confused so many times. Even my accountant has mixed up tax returns. Like
Huh.
the two names being so similar, I thought would be a benefit, and it has been a disaster. So advice to people: don't do that unless you're, I don't know, like maybe if you're operating on a larger level than me. But yeah, there definitely has been quite a few issues from the names of the companies being too similar, and so yeah, even like the SBA during COVID actually got them backwards. It's been a lot of work fixing the paperwork back end of that. So that's one suggestion for sure.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, as far as operating them, just having a team, everyone understanding their roles, and then like you said, the businesses coincide. So basically, one company sells the container, and then we actually hire the logistics company to deliver the container. So they actually work with each other, and they pay each other. The businesses pay each other for different services. So it actually works out really well from that standpoint as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Very, very cool. Um, what would you add another business? This is a personal question. Would you add another business to this, or you think you're good and you just want to grow these two?
I think for me, like I'm probably good right now on anything major other than real estate. Like I think I'll always keep adding to my portfolio. One of the reasons that I lean into real estate is I feel like um, I want to grow my assets while also growing a business, because I've had good friends who have done 50 million in business in a year, and then they were bankrupt the next year.
Mhm.
And so, I mean, business ebbs and flows, but like, I feel like, you have some consistency in real estate. I mean, there's always risks and possible issues, but so I've been trying to build like a solid asset portfolio while being a business owner and trying to grow my businesses. So, that for me would be the investment side. But yeah, I think for now, I'm definitely just going to focus on scaling these up. When I talk about like the wedding venue Airbnb, my wife's my business partner on that, and she has a ton of experience in the wedding space. Like she's sold wedding jewelry, wedding dresses. She used to be an event planner, so for weddings. So I mean, she's definitely like a key player on that side. So
Nice.
I'll definitely let her take care of that whole piece. She's got it. She's an animal. So yeah, yeah. So
I agree with you with the real estate. I do the same exact thing, right? Because, like you said, you could have 1 month where you crush it. Next month, you don't know where you're getting the money to pay your employees, right?
yeah,
And at the end of the day, if you have that real estate to fall back on, you're also building up your net worth and giving yourself, if you ever want to sell the businesses, at least some steady income. So I think every entrepreneur really should do that.
right. And I've also looked at it from the flip side too, like, falling back on your real estate if you had to, but also the other way, if you're building an asset portfolio, like if I got the right opportunity to sell my portfolio for X and then invest that into my business or a business in the right situation, either way, you just have that available. Like if I had a major player in the logistics industry want to partner up and I had to bring a couple million to the table, like my real estate portfolio might be able to provide that. And then,
Yep.
we can launch forward. So, yeah. And I mean, you could definitely ramp up your business and then have millions in the bank, but then there's a lot of potential issues there. So yeah, storing those millions in real estate definitely seems like a solid bet from
Nice.
from my experience.
That's awesome. What if obviously you've been at this for a minute. What are some of the keys that you found that have really helped you or driven your success?
I try to focus on attitude. There's good days and bad days. I mean, I've definitely, man, I've been dealt some business or like, dealt some blows that I think would cripple certain people.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just have like a string of bad luck and you have bad things happen. And it's, like there's famous sayings about it, but it's kind of how you respond to those issues versus the fact like you're going to have those issues.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter whether it's a legal issue or whether it's a customer leaving or a good employee leaving or whatever, like you're going to have those issues. So like how you address those issues and how you react to those issues is going to be huge. So I try to focus on, looking at the brighter side of things and then seeing the positive and negative situations. I think that's helped a lot. What else? I would say some of the things I talked about before, definitely focusing on the tax side and making sure you have enough capital. Like some of those things insulate you from a lot of the negative things that I've experienced, especially in the beginning.
Mhm.
So that makes it a lot easier. Finding the right people to surround you or to be part of what you're building. People are huge. If you have the right people, I think it makes things 10 times easier.
Or
So
harder.
oh yeah, yeah, it can go the other way too. So, yeah, I would say the right people is massive. And then one thing that's talked about a lot, especially like like in the Apex community, is consistency. So like you show up every day. Like I have the ability to just not ever be in the office. I could be golfing, I could be fishing, I could be doing whatever I want, but I mean, I'm still here every day. Like sometimes like my people even joke about it. They're like, dude, you never leave. Like, why are you always here? You don't even have to be here. And I don't know. I just feel like, I lead by example. And yeah, I feel like if I'm here, they're going to be here. If I answer my phone 24 hours, they're going to answer their phone 24 hours. And then maybe one day someone will literally fill my shoes and I can step out. I mean, that's kind of like the ultimate goal. But I think where I'm at right now, like I'm still an integral part of the business. And so, I just try to stay consistent for my team.
Nice. I love it, man. That's really good advice for anybody. So if anyone wanted to work with you, reach out and ask you a couple questions, where's the best place or what's the best way to get in touch with you?
So you can definitely, I'm pretty easy to find. Like you can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me on Facebook. My profile name is just Casey Ainsworth. That's pretty simple. You can shoot me an email at Casey, CASEY, at shippinglsl.com. So yeah, any of those are super simple. I'm always watching my whole everything. So Yeah, I'll be pretty quick to respond if anybody reaches out. But probably something to break down a little bit with logistics. Some people don't really understand like exactly what logistics is or what we do. So anybody that's shipping anything, they can reach out to us, and then we can provide whether it's like shipping one pallet, shipping a full truckload, doing something specialized. Um, I mean, we can pretty much ship anything. And so, what we're able to offer is instead of reaching out to one company that might have 5 trucks, and then their trucks are just all booked right now, you can reach out to us, and we have relationships with 3,000 companies that have 5 trucks. And so then that way we can provide that capacity a lot faster and usually more cost effective because of the relationships we've built. And then also, when you run through our service, we add an additional layer of security. Like I said, we have tools that prevent fraud. We have an additional insurance. So our insurance is a contingency insurance that backs up in case there's an issue with the trucking company's insurance. So you actually have 2 layers of insurance. You have fraud protection, and then you also have our whole team. We do the tracking. We do, like we kind of handle everything on the back end. So anybody that needs anything shipped, we're definitely your guys.
Dude, I love it. So I may be calling you if someone buys my gym equipment from out of state.
Yeah, man, that's perfect. Yeah, we can provide anything, man. When we're good at it, we're fast.
I love it, man. Hey, thank you so much for coming on. And guys, connect with Casey. He's a really, really good dude. Knows what he's doing. I wouldn't have him on here if that wasn't the case. So I appreciate you guys, and we will catch you on